Well, as we've been discussing, Sean, this year a record number of Republican women ran for seats in the House, with over a dozen of them winning their races, dominating congressional elections and making history. Well, joining us now are two of those newly elected representatives, Congresswoman-elect Michelle Fischbach from Minnesota and Congresswoman-elect Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia. Ladies, welcome to the show and congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us, and congratulations, Michelle.
Well, thank you so much.
I love it. You congratulating each other here.
Well, congratulations to you, too. Thank you so much.
You guys will be friends by the time you both get to Washington.
That's right. Well, Congresswoman-elect Fischbach, I'm going to start with you because you unseated Collin Peterson, who had been in his seat for 30 years. No one had been able to unseat him. You flipped this seat. Why did you want to take on this challenge?
You know, because the people in rural Minnesota, in western Minnesota, in the 7th District, they wanted a strong conservative to represent them in Washington, D.C. and fight against the socialist agenda that Nancy Pelosi and friends are putting together.
You know, Congresswoman-elect Greene, you ran in a seat that was open from a retired representative. But why did you want to run in this specific seat?
Well, I want to make a difference in Washington. Too many times I don't think Republicans fight for us. And in 2018, I was very disappointed at the $1.3 trillion omnibus bill, and it funded Planned Parenthood for $500 million, did not fund our border wall, and didn't repeal Obamacare. So I own a construction company, and every single day we work hard, and I'd like to bring some good conservative fight and accountability to Washington.
Now, I know both of you, as Lyndsay mentioned, came from different districts, but I want to start with you, Congressman-elect Fischbach. Did you get the resources you need? We had Elise Stefanik on. She's been really helpful working with women. But do you think that the folks in Washington and in the party gave you the support that you needed to be successful?
They were very helpful. You know, we worked with the NRCC. We worked with the Congressional Leadership Fund. We worked with a lot of the folks in Washington, and they were very helpful, very supportive, and provided. And Congresswoman Stefanik was incredible, and a lot of the other congresswomen and congressmen helped us out. And that is what was important in our race. Is we needed to put together that kind of organization, and needed the money to do what we need to defeat Collin Peterson.
Can I ask you both a follow-up question? Lyndsay and I were talking about this yesterday, but it's amazing how successful Republican women were, right? And you guys have come from great backgrounds and been very accomplished, and yet the media doesn't ever seem to want to give Republican women the attention that they give folks on the left, right? There's no photo spreads and magazine covers. Does that bother you at all? I'm sorry, Congresswoman Fischbach, let me start with you on that.
Oh, and you know what? No, it doesn't, because what we did was we did our work, and we were out there meeting with the voters, and we were talking to people, and that's what wins the race, is making sure that you're connecting with people and doing the work. And that's what I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. And I think that all of those wonderful, just accomplished women that are going to Washington, D.C. with me, they're going to do the work that needs to be done. And that's what's important to the people of the United States.
Congresswoman-elect Taylor, what about you? I mean, I think you guys, it's amazing how much you overcome, and yet it's sort of then, like we talked about it yesterday a little, like the one female Republican that got elected last year was left out of all of the spreads. And it just seems like this is part of the problem, is that the folks who write all these magazines about female empowerment want to talk about it except if you're on the right.
Oh, I think they're complete hypocrites. It makes me furious. I've worked very hard. I've had a strong career in the commercial construction business. I fought a big primary and runoff battle against 8 men, and I'm very excited to be the first woman to represent Georgia's 14th district and the first woman elected to a full term here in Georgia. And I think the media just exposes who they are. They're Democrat activists. They're not journalists, and they only praise women on the left, and then they just hate on us on the right. So it makes me upset.
We here at Spicer & Company and at Newsmax will heap tons of praise on you and acknowledge the great accomplishments that you've had. Yeah. So know that you will always...
Yeah, that is right. And you know what? I echo this concern because, you know, we talked to Elise Stefanik yesterday, and she talks about getting young women and getting them early. And I think if our youth are just seeing, you know, the left represented on these magazines or in the media, that's a false representation of half of America. But I do want to get to this question. What can we expect to see from you, Congresswoman-elect Fischbach, in Congress once you join the halls of Congress here in a few months?
Well, you know, we're going to be fighting and making sure that the voice of the conservative and the conservative woman is heard, because we are in a it looks like we're going to be in a pretty tight majority, so that the Democrats are going to have to listen to us. We're going to be an impactful minority, and I served in the minority in part of the time when I was in the Minnesota Senate. So understand how to make sure that our voices are heard, and I think that's important.
Congresswoman-elect Greene, how do you make your voice heard? What is your goal? What can we expect from you?
My goal is very similar to President Trump. I want to put America first. I want to defend the unborn. If I could do anything great in my career, I would love to completely end abortion in America. I'll be fighting hard to defend our Second Amendment rights, because I believe our gun rights are one of our greatest freedoms. And then I will definitely be holding big tech accountable, because I'm sick of censorship for conservatives. And I've been in Facebook jail too many times and been in trouble on Twitter a whole lot myself. So you'll see me and hear me a great deal. I'm ready to.
Music to my ears. I am so tired of it. I'm glad to hear it. I hope both of you take this up real quick. Congresswoman Taylor, I don't have any time left, but I want to ask Georgia, just make me feel sleep better tonight. Are we going to keep both of those Senate seats in Georgia?
We are going to be fighting hard. I was at the Georgia GOP.
I want you to say yes.
Yeah, we are going to be fighting hard. But let me tell you, we have an issue, and I need everybody to put pressure on my state legislators and our governor, because we've got to close a loophole to stop Democrats from moving into Georgia to vote in our Senate runoffs. And that's something, anybody in the country, you need to say, Georgia, close the loophole, because we've got people, Andrew Yang and his wife, saying they're going to move to Georgia so they can vote in our Senate runoffs. We have people encouraging out-of-state college students to register to vote, even though they voted in another state in the general, and they want to vote in our Senate runoffs. So we have got to put maximum pressure for them to fix this in our state legislature.
All right, we're going to have to take a look at this issue as we go forward. This is good. I appreciate you giving us a heads up on this. We'll definitely dig deeper into it. But thank you both for being here. And as Lyndsay said, congratulations to you both, and welcome to the swamp.
Thank you so much. All right. You have a great night.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.